2021 is now called to order. And I want to welcome Esquire Doug Gorman, who is going to offer prayer, and immediately afterwards will lead us to the pledge to the flag. If everyone would please bow.
Thank you. You bow with me, Father. Come to you today with such grateful hearts, grateful for our country, grateful for our Commonwealth, grateful for our county. But with that gratitude comes the earnest desire to do things that are pleasing to you, and all the things that we do and all things that this court does this morning. Just, Lord, remember and keep us to remember that the things that we're doing are for the benefit of all the citizens that we are elected to serve, and that we are servants, Lord, just like you've been such a servant for this entire world. Lord, I ask that you continue to have your blessings and wrap your arms around the people that are suffering from this terrible disease, that you would continue to lift up our healthcare workers and all the people affected, and to continue to bless the people that are producing these vaccines, Lord. We know brighter days are ahead. Spring is coming, Lord, and we're so thankful for the gift of your Son in our lives. I just ask that your blessings continue upon this community, upon this county, and upon this court. I ask all these things in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Now, you'll stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Ms. Hale, can you hear me okay? Would you please call the roll?
Gorman,
Here.
Esquire Payne,
Squire Payne? He's here.
okay. Esquire Young,
Here.
Esquire Cummings,
Here.
Esquire McWhorter,
Here.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Okay. Squire Payne, you might want to check your, make sure that your microphone is on. Okay. Can you hear? Okay, we need to approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting of January 22nd, 2021. Everyone received a copy of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? Was that a motion by Squire Cummings?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a second to approve.
Second, McWhorter.
Second, Squire McWhorter. No additions or corrections. Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And now with, if there are no objections, I'm going to go ahead and invite a couple of our guests today who are here with Spectrum Charter, Carla Sandusky and Jason Keller, who's with Governmental Affairs for Spectrum. If you all, I'll give you all the floor.
All right, Judge, thank you, and members of the court. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here today and to provide a presentation on an issue that I know is near and dear to everyone's heart, and that is the topic of rural broadband and how we make sure that we're connecting, regardless of where they live, to reliable, fast internet service. And we have been able to make a little announcement in the last week or so, and I'm again grateful for the opportunity to be here to talk a little bit about what that means for Warren County. So, Judge, I'm going to try to share on the screen here a little presentation that we've put together, if that's okay with you.
Please do.
And I'm hopeful that it will work. Hopefully that is showing on folks' screens here.
We've got
So As you all are certainly aware, we're certainly no stranger to Warren County. We've been in Warren County now for a number of years under as charter, but also our predecessor of Time Warner Cable and Insight before it, and many other cable companies prior to it. And we have been working to expand our footprint and invest in Kentucky. We provide service, or we offer service to right at 80% of all households and businesses across the Commonwealth. And we have a significant employee base across Kentucky and right there in Bowling Green as well. And we've been working to expand our footprint as well. We have been expanding to around 30,000 homes across Kentucky on an annual basis, and about a third of those are generally in what the FCC defines as rural areas. And we currently have a number of construction projects, actually several hundred construction projects ongoing across Kentucky, but that is getting ready to increase exponentially with an announcement that came forward recently from the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, which recently launched an auction for providing funding to providers to expand service to areas of Kentucky and across America that don't have access to service. They focused on those areas that are in census blocks where no provider offers broadband service. And that was the focus of this phase one of the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund, the RDOF as we call it. And that has generated quite a bit of investment for Kentucky. We were proud to just recently announce that we have been the recipient of $58 million in federal funding to expand broadband to nearly 32,000 homes across Kentucky that are in those census blocks that don't have access to any broadband today. Nationally, we're committing nearly $4 billion of our own capital to pair with that RDOF federal funding. So it's a significant public-private partnership to expand service, and we were also proud to be the largest recipient of these federal funds in Kentucky. Now, what does that mean for Warren County specifically? Well, apologies, I jumped ahead of myself there. Here is a map of where we have service today, which is the dark shaded color there, and then after we build out using the federal funds, where we will have service in the future. And that is the lighter colored, sort of greenish color there that is an expansion into those areas where there are at least 32,000 homes, nearly 32,000 homes that don't have access. So what does that mean for Warren County? So as part of the overall federal commitment, we've received 1.2 million, just over 1.2 million in federal support to expand service to nearly 1,600 homes in the county that don't have access today. And as mentioned previously, we are committing a portion of that significant private capital investment to pair with that 1.2 million to make sure that we are expanding out to those nearly 1,600 homes that are in areas across Warren County. This map may be a little tough to see, and I'm happy to get you all a better map that will focus in on your individual districts. But as you can see, those sort of greenish areas are the census blocks in the really sort of the edges of the county where we're going to be receiving the federal funding to provide service in those areas. And so as part of this, we're going to be deploying fiber to all of those areas that are shaded there. It says CCO Holdings LLC. That's actually our corporate name that we applied for the federal funding for. So that is those are the areas that we're going to be going. Obviously, we have service today in Bowling Green and various areas around the county, Woodburn, Oakland, and others, and we're going to be moving well beyond that in really all directions around the county. which is something that we're very excited about, and looking forward to getting this process started. We're going to be providing the same services that we provide everywhere in these areas at the same price. Our broadband offering, we're going to be doing our minimum speeds of 200 megabits, and we're going to be providing our Spectrum Internet Gig that delivers up to 1 gig broadband connection. And we're going to be providing that in all of these areas. They're also obviously going to get our traditional sort of cable video service packages, and our voice packages and mobile as well are going to be offered to those folks as well. So in addition to that, we're also going to be rolling out our Spectrum Internet Assist program, which is something that we have offered there in Warren County for a number of years now. That's our low-cost broadband option for seniors who take supplemental security income, and then also families that have children on free and reduced lunch. They are eligible for a $17.99 internet product that we have been working to connect tens of thousands of homes across Kentucky, and that's going to be available in those areas too. A couple of other programs, a couple that we launched after the pandemic started, the Stay Connected program, where we're working with school districts and other local community organizations to ensure that kids who don't have an internet connection in their home are able to get connected to the internet. And we've been entering into agreements with school districts to do that. We also have an affordable housing program that we've launched as well. And in each of these areas, because we're going to be seeking a designation from the Public Service Commission, which I'll get to in just a moment, we're going to be providing a low-cost voice service as well for eligible households that are within these build-out areas. So a lot of different opportunities and offerings that are going to be coming to folks that live in these build-out areas. In terms of where we go next, I think this is the thing I would leave you with is that this is going to be a major project. It's not going to happen overnight, and there are a couple of regulatory things we've got to get past first. As I mentioned, there's a designation called the Eligible Telecommunications Carriers (ETC) status that we have to obtain from the Kentucky Public Service Commission first. That's a prerequisite in order to receive the federal funds. So we have already applied for that. We applied for that at the beginning of January, and we're hopeful to get that by the first half of this year is our intent. Access to utility poles. This may be the least flashy, but one of the most important aspects of deploying broadband service is that making sure that we're able to connect to utility poles in an efficient way. And certainly we look forward to working with local power providers and other pole owners who we are going to have to partner with and ensure that we're attaching our lines to their poles, which is certainly critical. And there may be other permitting and permitting needs and construction issues that we may have to bring to the court, to county government. We will certainly keep you apprised of that as this moves forward. So we're very excited about this. We're very excited about the opportunity to build out to a lot of new homes that are a lot of homes that don't currently have broadband service. That, as we've seen in particular, Judge, I know you've been very focused on this issue for many, many years, and rightly so. And I think the pandemic has shined a big spotlight on the need to have reliable broadband in every home with kids that are doing work outside of the classroom, with folks who are working from home, folks that need telemedicine options that may not be able to get to the doctor. All of those things require a good broadband connection, and we're excited about the opportunity to expand that. So I'll stop there, Judge, members of the court. I don't know if there may be questions. Happy to answer any of them, and thanks again for your time.
Jason, you're right. I have been focusing on this for at least 10 years, and of course, it seemed to have everyone's attention, but no one seemed to want to do anything about it or take the first step. And I do believe that if there's anything that good that comes from this COVID pandemic, and I'm not sure that anything really positive has come from it, other than the focus on telecommunications and the need for high-speed internet to families throughout the country, but certainly throughout Warren County. And I'm interested, I guess my concern is, I mean, this all sounds great, but, and I noticed there was a comment that this won't happen overnight, but do we have the people at home are saying, okay, it's not going to happen in a week, so it's probably going to happen in a month. But I wish you'd give us some sort of realistic timeline as to what we're really looking at here. It will be, everyone will be interested in this. Everyone who's listening to this on Facebook or on TV, on whatever channel we're on Spectrum right now. But can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, we will definitely be providing more information on that, and I certainly appreciate the question and the concern, Judge. Folks need it now, and they want it now, and we recognize that there's definitely a demand out there. I know our folks are working towards. We have to get the regulatory piece done. We've got to get a lot of the engineering done, and make sure that is all in place before we can begin this deployment. But I know that our team is looking to try to have for all of this project, try to have shovels in the ground. Likely next year is what we're probably looking at this point in time. If they can do it sooner, I know that they definitely will, because certainly we want to get the service out because folks need it, but we also want to get it out because we want customers as soon as we can. So that's a piece of it. So I know our folks are moving fast and furious to do that. We're actually going to be hiring 2,000 new employees across the country to just deal with this build out. And a part of those I fully expect are going to be fully dedicated to Kentucky, because Kentucky is one of our larger states in one of our larger areas where we've received this federal funding. So I know that's not the pinpoint on the head to your answer to your question, Judge. But as soon as we know more about sort of the timeline, we will definitely be sharing that with you in the court. Because I know how important this is to you, and we want to be sure that we're communicating with you throughout the process.
Hey, Jason, can you quit screen sharing so we can kind of put everybody back up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh.
Have you even talked about pricing yet? And Jack asked a couple questions on the chat about, are there addresses assigned yet about where these areas are going to be serving? Are we way premature for those questions?
So in terms of pricing, we have uniform pricing across our entire footprint across the country. So whether you live in New York City or in Bowling Green or in these areas in Warren County that we're going to be building to, we offer the same services and the same price. So what we have today is going to be what is going to be in these new areas as well. So all that's going to be the same. And I'm looking at the chat. Thanks for flagging that. I had not seen the chat piece yet.
Anything else, Ron?
Obviously, realistically, we're a year and a half away from any connections, probably. But it's we got to get started sometime. But realistically, we're probably a year to year and a half from any connectivity at all to anybody, right?
I think that's a fair assessment. Yes, sir. And I noticed on the chat the list of addresses in the green areas. I don't know if we have a specific list of all of the addresses just yet. We do have, and actually the FCC has made all of these maps available in the GIS form. So you would be able to scroll in, and I'm happy to get that sent around to folks. That you can look at a very granular level which streets are included in those census blocks where funding is provided, and that may help address some of those issues, at least until we're able to get that the full list of addresses.
Okay. Can you think you could share those SCC maps with us when you get them? And can you share that PowerPoint that you just gave us a glimpse of? Could you share that in hard copy or email it or something to Ms. Hale so she can get it to each of the magistrates in fiscal
Yes, sir.
court?
Yes, sir.
If you could do that today, I'd really appreciate it, just so it would be in their hands and they understand. I mean, we all looked at it, but not everyone else has a photographic memory like I do. So, actually, it was very helpful to have that presentation, and I congratulate you on the work that y'all put into it. But the engineering's going to take some time, and I assume that's what's going to put us off till 2022, right? Before the best start date you could estimate would be about the same time or spring of next year?
I think so, yes, sir. And obviously, as you noted, that engineering piece is what's going to have to happen in order to make sure that we're expanding, because these are areas that we need to get to know. We've got to do all the drive outs and the walkouts and count all the poles that we're going to need to be on, and all of that type of information. Understand where we're going to need to get easements and so forth. So a lot of that kind of work is going to have to go into making sure that we're able to, when we get that done, that we're able to deploy these services quickly and efficiently. And I noticed that the other question on the chat in terms of a point of contact, I would, so Carla Sandusky that is on here, Carla, definitely would want to be sure that you all have her information, and you all certainly can have my information too. And we can definitely serve as points of contact for you, and try to answer any other questions you may have.
Okay. But a build-out period after the start date is probably a year and a half?
It's a good question, Judge. I wish I knew the answer to that. And we'll definitely, as soon as I think we understand more about the engineering piece of it, I think they'll have an idea of how fast we'll be able to do the deployment. Once we get those nailed down, though, our folks can pretty well get infrastructure deployed fairly quickly. We've got a lot of people that do this every single day, and we're bringing on a whole lot more help as well to get it done, because all of this is on top of what we would do just in the normal course of business and expanding service. So I know we'll definitely want to get the service out as fast as possible, and we definitely will keep everyone posted on as that moves forward.
Thank you. Now, did you have an estimate, or maybe it showed that, what percentages of the entire build-out is estimated to, what percentage is the federal government's contribution to this effort in Warren County, in a percentage of what you all intend to put into it?
So we don't have that, Judge. I don't have that information broken out on a community by community level. But as soon as we have that, if I'm at liberty to share it, I know our folks tend to keep some of those investment numbers pretty close to the vest. I will certainly provide it to you.
Well, that is all good news. I'm not sure it's good news to anyone that it's not going to happen overnight. But, you know, we'd rather have the truth than a hollow promise. But do you know, as soon as you can get a timeline so I can answer some of the questions that the public will certainly have? And also, there are at least, I'm sure there's at least one member of the media on here. There usually are at least 1, 2, 3. If you'll, Carla or one of you all will give the information to Ms. Hale in regard to how to best contact you all for follow-up questions from them, that'd be fantastic. And then,
Yes,
and then
sir.
she'll get it to all of them.
Yes, sir. We will do that. And I recognize that all of those questions related to the timeline are totally fair, and everybody's anxious to get service. And I know this is sort of the first step in that. And you know, this first step in the journey, though, and I'm glad we're taking it. And I know we want to move through this journey as fast as we can. So we're grateful for your all's partnership, and again, we will definitely be sure to keep you posted as we have a timeline and any other important details that we might have about this project.
Do any of the members of the court have questions? Okay, no immediate questions right now, but I can tell you, I think I can speak for them that they're very interested in this and excited about the possibilities, and would like very much to have as much information from you as you can give us, recognizing that some of your information is proprietary and you can't tell us all of the details. It doesn't keep the public from wanting to know those details. So if you could just share with us as much as you can, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Judge. We will definitely do that.
Thanks for getting with us today, Jason. I appreciate it. Carla, thank you. It's good to see you. And you'll be hearing from us soon, and we look forward to continuing the dialogue on this. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay, I know all of you are interested in this. And if you have questions, if you'll jot them down, and we'll try to get them to Jason and Carla in some sort of a organized fashion regularly, and get the PowerPoint presentation to you as soon as we receive it, so you can print it out in hard copy. And this will be exciting news for some and disappointing news for those people who need it tomorrow or today. So, but like I said, it's much better to get the facts than a hollow promise. Okay, if now that we have done that, before we move on to the agenda, to the rest of the agenda, you all know Jennifer Schmidt, who has been with us for a few years now and has been our consultant and administrator of our grants, and she's applied for most all of our grants in the last 6 years, maybe 5-6 years, and she just has her annual report here to give to you today, and I might follow up with an item on the agenda after that. But Ms. Schmidt, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So Brenda forwarded you just like a one-page document about our grants for the 2020 year. And I wanted to provide an update of all the things that we accomplished last year through the grant cycle. Obviously a very different year than normal for us, but we were successful in applying for receiving CARES Act funding and administering that funding. That was a large percentage of the work for several months, and I appreciate Stephen and his staff and the sheriff and his staff and Greg for helping put together all of the documentation we needed to draw down these funds. Managing that level of funding, the 4.5 million and the 1.5 million requires a lot of detail. And so I appreciate everyone helping with that documentation to make sure that we administered that properly and reported on that properly. So all those funds have been drawn down at this point. And so we also have about $58,000 in Department of Justice funding that we got and applied for last year. Now that we've pulled down all the CARES Act funding, we'll move on to that justice funding to get reimbursements for some of the items that Stephen and the sheriff have purchased during COVID. We wanted to try to use all our CARES Act money first to ensure, because that had a shorter time frame than our Department of Justice money. We have 2 years to spend that Department of Justice money. We were very excited to get over $570,000 to replace election equipment from the, a group, private group, and Lynette got all of that equipment in, and we've completed the reporting on that as well. And I think Lynette could speak more to that, but I think they're excited about the opportunity to use that new equipment, and that it would be very helpful in the new way of voting centers moving forward. The Soki Marketplace received a grant from Delta Dental, and that's an operations grant. The staff at the marketplace had had several events in the queue for the beginning of this year. Unfortunately, all of those events were canceled because of COVID, and this helped replace some of that operating money that they would have gotten from those events. Our fire departments received money for T-bone adapters and cartridges for their SCBA, and these cartridges and adapters help them when they're in firefighting and emergency response to make sure that they are protected against COVID in those situations. So those adapters and cartridges have been received, and the departments were excited to be able to get those. Richardsville also received a grant for some personal protective equipment for medical runs as well. And then Parks and Rec received a small grant from Walmart to do some mobile rec outreach for their mobile rec program. So that's the total of administered and awarded grants in 2020 was $6,715,747. So it was a very busy year. We're starting off strong in 2021 as well. In January, we received a second round of COVID funding for our volunteer fire departments. Richardsville was not part of the regional grant for the T-bone adapters and the cartridges, so they received those in the second round. And then several of the departments went in together on a regional grant to receive, they did surgical masks, personal hand sanitizers that they can carry when they're on runs, germicidal wipes, and nitrate gloves. And so those are all things they use in abundance, especially during COVID. So I know that Kevin Bailey sent me a picture yesterday of 56 cases of hand sanitizer that will go out to departments so that those guys can carry those personal hand sanitizers with them when they're on runs and interacting in emergency situations. This year, the Assistance to Firefighter grant is actually due today. So we are submitting 5 grants with the departments this week for additional support for those volunteer firefighters. I'm also working with Lynette and Sheriff. We have a due date next month for the local records grant, and both have interest in applying for local records grants. Where Judge and I have had some conversations about the supplemental and making sure we're following all of the money as it moves down from supplemental funds and additional COVID funds. And working on a grant with Warren County Technical Rescue for firehouse subs for a Polaris. As well as I know Sheriff is interested in looking at body cameras and bulletproof vests again this year. So those are just kind of off the top of my head, the things that we have coming up in the first quarter, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any of y'all have any questions specifically for Ms. Schmidt? I just want to tell you, some of these grants that were within the CARES Act, you may not think it was a heck of a lot of work to get that done, but it was a heck of a lot of work to get that done, and it's even more important that we get it documented properly and keep from applying for funds that are paid for somewhere else by any federal funds. So this was a big chore for not only for Jennifer, but also for Greg, and in some cases Lynette and the sheriff and the firefighters. But anyway, we're very, very proud to have had Ms. Schmidt's expertise and experience put to work for us this year. Most everything's been done through the internet, and she's taking care of that. And even the federal and state government, most of their offices, amazingly, are getting a lot of this work done from remotely from their offices. So it's incredible that we get anything done at all. But I can guarantee you that a great deal of this would not have happened had we not had Jennifer's support in every one of these. If there are no questions, what I'd like to do is take an item from lower in the agenda, if I can find it here.
38.
Item number 38. I'd like to move that up now and go ahead and, because I'm sure Ms. Schmidt has other things to do. But item number 38 is to approve the contract between Warren County Fiscal Court and Schmidt Consulting LLC at a rate of $2,750 per month, plus travel, airfare, hotel, and meals if required. We hadn't had a whole lot of that this year. But,
I think there's been one time in which I've requested when you and I traveled for that USDA, when we drove all the way to wherever we drove, Frankfurt or whatever. It's one time I've requested mileage in the 5 or 6 years we've worked together. So.
I know. But you never know when it might be necessary and might be possible again. But anyway, this is a renewal.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to approve that, Gorman.
All right, Doug Gorman got tired of me talking about it, and he'd like to make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Squire Cummings. Okay.
Also, just very quickly, I'd say that would be hazarded pay. You probably need some situation hazardous pay if you had to drive to Frankfurt with the judge.
We drove separately.
Good idea.
She knew better. I mean, you had actually prepared her earlier, Doug.
That's right.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion relevant to this motion?
Judge, I have a question, and
Yes,
first
sir.
of all, I want to thank Jennifer for her work, but I'm just curious, how do we do this without getting bids? And I know where there's an answer, but I'm sure for this service, like other
It's
things.
a renewal. We actually did take RFPs 6
Okay.
years ago. This is a renewal of an ongoing contract for professional services.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? It's a good question. No other questions, please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Gorman. Esquire Payne.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Jennifer, good report. It's great working with you.
Thank you. I appreciate working with all of you as well. And as always, if you come across any opportunities for the departments or your areas or needs, just please always feel free to reach out to me.
Well, you do a great job. We really do appreciate you, particularly this year.
It's been a crazy year.
All right. And you're welcome to stay on for the rest of the meeting, but I assumed you probably had other things to do.
I'm going to get these fire department grants
All righty.
put in, but thank you so much.
Thank you. All righty. Item number 5 on the agenda is to approve work schedule for the Warren County Road Department.
So
Motion,
moved.
Squire Lawrence.
I think it was Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman, Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter, Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Next item is to approve personnel changes in Warren County.
So moved.
So
Squire
moved,
Young.
Gorman.
I think it's a motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Lawrence. Some of you have a little bit of a float there. Doug, for whatever reason, you're coming through about 2 seconds behind everyone else's comments, which is par. All right. No further questions, please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 7 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2103, establishing Stewart Farm Avenue, Merrill Circle, Spartan Street, Round Bale Avenue, Spartan Court, and Merrill Street, located in Stewart Farm subdivision as county roads and authorizing maintenance thereon and setting speed limits thereon.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second McWhorter.
second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Item number 8 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2104, establishing Bryan Lane, Crabtree Lane, Macy Street, and Chris Street, located in Crabtree subdivision as county roads and authorizing maintenance thereon and setting speed limit thereon. Have anyone?
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by
Motion
Squire
by-
Young.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Young. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, motion passes. The next item is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2105, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and Burr and Jones LLC as Kentucky Limited Liability Company as the developer and owner of Poplar Grove subdivision phases 1 and 2.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings. Second, anyone?
McWhorter.
Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 10 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2106, rezoning property located at 2137 and a portion of 2191 Glenley Road and 0 Alta Vista Way from residential estate and light industrial to heavy industrial containing approximately 35.61 acres and presently owned by Stuart Ritchie Construction Company.
So moved.
So moved, Squire again.
I think there's a motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next item is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2107, amending the budget of Warren County.
So
Motion.
moved, Squire again.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second, Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions?
Judge,
Yes.
Greg may have something to add to that one.
Hey, Judge, you may want to mention that it hasn't been signed off by Department for Local Government yet. They have told me that it is approved. It's really just a formality of them receiving a second quarter financial report based on the timing.
Okay, so we are signing off on this. It has been approved, but we can't actually sign it until they send it back.
Correct.
Correct? Okay. And so they're going to sign it and send it back when they get the quarterly report.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone understand that? You all are approving to sign it, but I obviously cannot sign it until we receive their signed copy back. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Item number 12 is to grant Jailer Harmon authority to sign amendment to Airmark Food Service contract for Consumer Price Index price increase for 2021. Jailer Harmon, that CPI, does that go by the CPIU, about 1.4% or something like that?
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Actually negotiated some, because of COVID, they are going to have to take an increase just because of the supply issues that we faced. And this is across all Aramark, not just in the correctional piece. So I've put the new pricing there, and of course it's based on population ranges. Obviously, the more inmates that you have, the cheaper per tray the price is. But the original contract that we have with them allows for them to take the CPI increase each year. And so even though I don't like it, it is part of the contract, and I understand some of the increase that we're taking. It's not a huge increase, but it is an increase.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second, McWhorter.
second by Squire McWhorter to approve. Any discussion or questions of Jailer Harmon?
Taylor Harmon, would you share with us what the cost of those meals are? I know it's hardly believable how cheap that is.
Yes, sir. For 2020, in the 650 to 750 inmate range, it was around $1.09 per tray. For 2021, 650 to 750 is going to be around $1.13 per tray. And so that's based on a 2,800 calorie diet per day, and the state only requires a 2,400 calorie diet per day.
Thank you.
Yes,
Can
sir.
we come down to fiscal court, order a meal sometime, and all come in and enjoy it?
All the magistrates are welcome anytime. I would love to have you, and yes, we'll be happy to feed you.
I can bring $1.13. I can bring that with
If you're willing to come and spend some time with us, Magistrate Cummings, we'll take care of the fee.
All righty. Any other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 13 is to approve determination in the amount of $19,995 to Motorola Solutions for 12 additional portable radios. This is a master agreement pricing as provided in the existing contract with Motorola. There's no cost to the Warren County taxpayer. It's paid for through the capital improvement funds.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second, Gorman.
second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next item is to approve first reading of ordinance 2108, rezoning property located at 971 Richards Road from agriculture to residential estate, containing approximately 3.39 acres and presently owned by Easley LLC in care of Brent Easley.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Young.
second by Squire Young. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman, Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next item is to approve first reading of ordinance 2109, rezoning property located at 1154 Bronner Road from agriculture and floodplain to residential estate and floodplain, containing approximately 4.75 acres and presently owned by Jackson White.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion, anyone? Questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman, Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter, Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Number 16 is first reading of ordinance, approved first reading of ordinance 2110, rezoning property located at a portion of 620 Richardsville Road from agriculture to residential estate, containing approximately 3 acres and presently owned by Brian and Debbie Hendrick, with Handy Homes LLC as the applicant. Have a motion to
Motion.
approve. Motion by Squire
Motion,
Young.
Squire Young.
Motion by Squire
Second.
Young. Second, who was that?
McWhorter.
Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next item is to approve determination in the amount of $2,062.50 to Warren Rural Electric for service connection to the new Buchanan multipurpose and tennis facility, one-time fee.
So move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? There being none, please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, item number 18 is to approve the purchase of a John Deere tractor rotary cut attachment in the amount of $68,539 from Wright Implement Sourcewell contract for the Parks Department. This John Deere equipment's allowing $10,000 trade-in on the 2003 John Deere 6603 tractor and the 2003 John Deere HX20 rotary cutter, since the repairs, a lot of repairs needed to both.
So move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 19 is to approve the second quarter financial report for the Hadley Volunteer Fire Department.
Motion by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire
Second,
Lawrence.
Squire Young.
Second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 20 is to approve the determination in the amount of $4,100 to Stevens Seed and Supply for the rental of a mulch blower. This is for the mass mulching throughout the park system and downtown properties, and will be rented for 2 weeks as a single source provider.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion from Squire Cummings. Second.
Second by Squire Lawrence.
Second, Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 21 is to approve a determination in the amount of $16,479.92 to Wright Implement for the purchase of a John Deere Gator for Buchanan Park. This Gator will take the place of the truck that's been used daily hauling and transporting around the park so far. This is Sourcewell contract, price contract.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings.
Second by Squire Lawrence.
Second by Squire Lawrence. Did you have a question, Jailer Harmon? Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Squire Gorman, it looked like you did too. I'm not sure. Nothing? All
No
right,
question. I was just waiting for Jailer Harmon to weigh in on the Gator. That's good. Okay, I'm good.
okay, all righty. No other questions or comments, please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 22 is to approve Resolution 2103, accepting quitclaim deed for right-of-way conveyance located on Stewart Lane and authorizing the judge executive to execute the deed and all other necessary documents.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings. Second.
Second, Squire Young.
Second, Squire Young. Do I have Josh Moore on here?
I am here.
Okay. Is this for the right-of-way that's, we didn't take in with the street, or what's?
Correct. So the street, Stewart Lane, has been extended a couple times. When I say it's probably been 20 years ago or more, and lots were created off of this right-of-way that was to be dedicated to the county. The road's already there. But the Harris family that owns property at the end of the road. As they were getting their estate in order, it became evident that that right-of-way was never actually conveyed. From a maintenance standpoint, it was not an issue for us because the road series map, because it rounds up to the nearest 1/10 of a mile, it actually already included this road that was already there. So our road series map and our maintenance list is still accurate based on the length, but they would like to go ahead and transfer that to us, which was noted on the plat, the subdivision plat that created several of these lots years ago. So this is more of a housekeeping issue than anything, but the Harris family wanted to make sure that was done properly, and it takes care of all of the history on our end.
Okay. All righty. Any questions or comments? Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 23 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $2,660 to Meyer Trucking to straighten the bed of the F-350 truck that was severely bent at the Warren County Parks Department. I guess someone backed into something, right?
Yes, sir. We had an issue with the vehicle. The employee was disciplined and re-educated on how to properly use the equipment.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
Not yet.
Motion, Squire Young.
Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to approve the 211 report for January 2021.
So made, McWhorter.
Motion by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter, Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 25 is to approve the determination in the amount of $1,950 to Pi Barker Fire and Safety for the inspection of the fire alarm system in the main jail, Class D building, and the kitchen.
Judge, can I offer up a little information on that?
Yes, please.
I still feel like the folks at Pi Barker do a great job, and they came in and were very efficient. And of course, this is to be compliant with the Department of Corrections and also the Marshal Service, and it's a big expense. And I still feel like, even though he's going to deny it, I feel like Esquire Gorman's still responsible for this high price. But I just wanted to throw that in and let you know that they did do a great job, and we've been using the same folks for years, and just want to throw that in for the court's information.
Yeah, but their service is better now? Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't going to say it just like that, Judge, but I would concur with that.
All right.
Can we take some of that out of Gorman's pocket check?
Yeah, I think this, I think the point of this ridicule here is that this Pi Barker is not owned by Squire Gorman. And
You should make the motion.
we have a motion by who?
Cummings,
Squire Cummings. Squire Cummings, second.
Second, McWhorter.
Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Item number 26 is to approve the December 2020 Treasurer's Report.
So move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Squire
second by
Lawrence.
Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next item is to make part of the record a certificate of liability insurance for NTW Holdings LLC. If there are no objections, that's hereby ordered to be entered into the record. Item number 28 is to approve determination in the amount of $17,420 to Miracle Recreation for the replacement of 2 dugouts at Griffin Park, Field 1. They'll be rebuilt as a sunshade style type wrapped by fencing.
I'll move McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 29 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $2,277.04 to Sunbelt Rentals for the rental of a 120-foot lift. This lift is required for a major wiring issue at the ball field at Griffin Park.
So move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire
Second by
Young.
Squire Lawrence.
Who was that?
Lawrence.
Squire Lawrence.
Squire Lawrence, seconds. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 30 is to approve first reading of ordinance 2111, rezoning property located at a portion of 0 Fuqua Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 3.06 acres and presently owned by Aaron and Courtney Davenport.
So move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young. Second,
Second order.
is that McWhorter? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 31 is to approve first reading of ordinance 2112 rezoning property located at 3274 Sunnyside Ghat Road from agriculture to rural residential and residential estate containing approximately 5.38 acres and presently owned by Mark Smith and Dina Brooks.
So move McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter.
Second by Squire Lawrence.
Second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 32 is to approve change order in the amount of $129,896 to Scott Murphy and Daniel for the new tennis facility relocation of existing sewer lines, emergency site lighting, repairs, dimming for fixture M, and paving the speed tables. I guess we discovered the sewer line after the excavation started.
Judge, I'll try to explain change orders 4 through 8 real quick for everybody. In regards to change order 4 and 5 with the sewer line and then the wire hit on the original site plans from the original construction of the regional park. Unfortunately, those lines were not in the proper place, and because of that, unfortunately, they were hit, and they did not come up on the original location of all the utility lines in the facility. So the first change order, number 4, was for the $9,305 to relocate the existing sewer lines so that we could get the parking lot to the proper grade. On change order number 5, there was direct buried cable that interconnected all of the parking lot lights. Unfortunately, those were not on the original site plans, and that wire was basically ripped out along all the entry-level light poles into the facility and had to be redone. The reason for the emergency or for doing the work was we did have programs ongoing, and it presented a safety risk to our patrons at night coming in and out. On change order number 6, that was a dimming fixture that change order that needed to be changed inside the facility for the lighting that will be in the main tennis court section of the gym. And then change order number 7 was a credit that was just listed for reference of $6,600. And then change order number 8, over the course of the project, we've had this issue at the park before with excessive speeding. I want to thank Deputy Mayfield and Sheriff Hightower for helping us with this issue. But I'm recommending that we install the speed tables to help ensure that the reckless driving and the speeding in the park is reduced. We've had several construction workers, including myself, almost hit within the last 2.5 weeks at the site. We've suspended several individuals from the facility for erratic driving. In regards to the extra parking lot associated with change order number 8, as you all know, we've had to build a temporary parking lot that wraps around the court 4 or east side of the building. We were going to keep that lot as a gravel lot after construction for overflow parking. That has become a problematic spot for donuts, figure eights, erratic driving on the property. And for our bigger tournaments that we're having now and that we've got booked for the next 3 to 4 years, we feel that we're going to be able to use that as more of a permanent parking area. And then also paving what was going to be originally a graveled roadway behind the existing gym and the new tennis facility. We've had some concerns with that based on the gravel layer that's there for getting big lifts in to do roofing inspections, things like that, and with erosion and water issues we've had with both the existing building and that we've seen in the past couple of weeks at the new tennis site. I think it is a hefty change order, but I think the initial addition to investment is going to save long-term issues on the property. So we would like your consideration for the change.
Questions, anyone?
So move McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. No discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is to approve the purchase of a new access control database and 16 new cameras for the Warren County Courthouse in the amount of $17,075.32. The access control will be purchased from AAA Access Control in the amount of $7,258.32, and the cameras from Modern System in the amount of $9,917. There were 3 quotes received, and this was the lowest, best quote.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings. Second.
Second by Squire Lawrence.
Second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne, Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 34 is to approve a change order in the amount of $10,927.40 to Scotty's Contracting and Stone LLC for the curb and related grading for the roundabout at the Small House Road and Elrod Road. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Mr. Moore, did you have anything to add, any detail to that?
No, sir, this is just, I think we've discussed before, we added some concrete curbing around, trying to delineate where drivers should stay on the road. We had some remaining unused funds as it relates to the original contract, around $14,000, and this change order here just is the difference between what that installation cost versus what we had left on the contract. This should wrap up all work with Scotty's. I did notice, just I'm sure some of you have seen, that we did really well for about 3 weeks, but during the inclement weather, we had some people still drive across the curb. So we're going to have to, I do think, and you know, this is something that I've talked with Chris and Timmy Gilmer some. I think we may try to go in the spring and do some sort of plantings there. I think any sort of vertical plant material may help people understand they've got to slow down. They can't just drive straight through. Obviously, it'll be something that's safe and it's not going to, you know, cause an accident. But hopefully, that should take care of a lot of the issues. But again, we're just not in the best time of the year to finish it up. So hopefully, this spring we can attack that pretty hard.
All right, thank you, Josh. Anyone have any comments or discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 35 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $1,616.41 for repairs to the 94 International Dump Truck. This is at Tri-State International Trucks will make the repairs.
So move McWhorter.
Motion by
Second,
Squire.
Young.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 36 is to approve termination in the amount of $2,000 to Upper Green River Watershed Watch for 2019 water sampling. This is a single source provider paid for through stormwater management funds.
So
Motion.
move, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman, Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, item number 37 is to approve determination in the amount of $6,500 to Builders Association of South Central Kentucky to renew our Cornerstone Partnership paid for through Stormwater Management. You have a motion to approve?
Motion by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire Lawrence. Second by
Young.
Squire. Second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 38 is to approve contract between Warren County Fiscal Court and, oh, well, we've already gotten that. We've already taken care of that. Item number 39 is to approve the claims. Will the treasurer please present the claims to court?
General fund, $2,019,748. Road fund, $270,894. Jail fund, $529,182. Stormwater fund, $37,873. And LGEA fund, $3,000. We have to answer any questions.
Make a motion, we pay the claims as submitted.
Motion by Squire.
Second,
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire McWhorter to approve claims as submitted. Any other discussion or questions about any of them? Please call the roll.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't see Squire Gorman. Yeah, there you are. Squire Gorman, do you have anything you'd like to share with us?
Judge, just good to see everyone on Zoom. Don't mind telling you, it's no HIPAA violation. Shoot, Michelle and I have survived COVID. We both had it 2 weeks ago.
Well,
Not too a tougher one for Michelle.
Well, I'm
Everyone's
sorry that
feeling
y'all had
better,
it.
and we're all getting there.
I'm sorry either of you had it, or anyone in your family, but I'm glad you all survived and came back. You look stronger than ever.
I feel strong, thanks, Judge. But just good to see everyone. Hope everyone has a great Valentine's weekend, and stay safe out there.
Squire Payne, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Thank you, Judge. Just trying to get over my surgery, and everything's going good.
You look like you're doing well. You look a little more comfortable than you did before the surgery. Glad it came out well.
It turned out pretty good.
Squire Young?
Thank you, Judge. Just remind everybody to continue to be safe. You know, a lot of people getting their shots, not enough, but a lot of people getting their shots, but that doesn't mean we still don't need to wear a mask and do our part, social distance, no big gatherings. Just be mindful that this stuff is still going on.
Yes, it sure is. It's going down a little bit in Kentucky and in Warren County as far as the percentages, but I'm afraid we're going to have to deal with this for some time to come. But I assume most of you, except for maybe Squire Gorman, have already had your vaccinations. And I'm absolutely certain that Squire Gorman wishes he had of. But anyway, I finished up just a couple of days ago, a few days ago. I'm happy to have that behind me. But I still wear the mask and still I feel more protected, but not all the way protected. And certainly I want to help protect everyone else around me so that we don't spread it. Okay. Squire Cummings?
Well, I want to publicly say happy birthday to Rex McWhorter, who's turned 87 on yesterday. Not quite 87. I'm sorry, I misfigured that number there a little bit.
It's February 10th, actually. You're way late.
Okay, well, I did on your birthday, I did at least acknowledge you. I did do that, but I want to say to the public, happy birthday to Rex, and kind of echo everybody else. I've been looking forward to at some point to get us back together in person, but you know, the word of the day is probably stay the course and just keep on doing what we're doing and get this thing under control. And everybody continues to do an amazing job. All of our leaders and road department did a great job with the potential. Glad we live in the Bowling Green bubble to keep us from the ice storm that we were supposed to get. So just again, be thankful to do what we're doing and just stay the course.
So glad we didn't get that. Yeah, and I think Squire McWhorter, I want to wish you, I think it was your 69th birthday. And
That's correct. Glad to be here.
well, I just hope to get to be as old as you are someday.
What are you, about 10 days away?
Let's not get personal. Anyway, happy birthday, Rex. Do you have anything you'd like to share with everybody?
Just thanks for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate everyone. And I was kidding you, Ron. I knew you wished me happy birthday. Thank you. On my real birthday. Thank you.
All right. Squire Lawrence?
Yes, Judge. I just want to tell everybody happy Thanksgiving or happy Valentine's Day, excuse me. And also, I'm super excited about the Kroger vaccination site. It seems like that we're starting to make some very meaningful steps that are going to take us around the corner and hopefully get us past this pandemic that we've all been living through. It's a epic time in our lives, because before this I never would have even thought about anything like this. But I'm glad to see maybe some light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm hoping that it's over sooner rather than later.
I'm hoping so too. Sheriff, do you have anything to share today?
Absolutely, Judge. I got my second COVID vaccination this morning, so I'm excited about that. And it has been a busy month for us. And I want to say a shout out to the Bowling Green. They were able to locate the suspect in their shooting from earlier this week and got him into custody. So just a good job to their deputies and staff over there, and for what they're doing to help keep our county safe as well. So, but that's really all I have. So thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Sheriff. Ms. Yates, are you on? Okay. Jailer Harmon, you have anything else?
Yes, sir. I've got a couple of quick comments.
Okay.
A lot of talk about COVID, and obviously we had an outbreak in the first part of December. I'm happy to report that there were a couple of reports this week on our daily report to the Kentucky Department of Corrections, where I was able to say we had no active cases in the staff or the inmates, but we are testing every new intake and keeping them in a quarantine area before putting them in population with inmates that have been here a while. And so I do have one today because that's somebody that came in 2 days ago that we got a test result saying that they're positive. So it's still a very diligent effort on behalf of my staff to keep everyone tested and everyone wearing a mask as much as we can humanly make adults wear masks in their housing areas. But definitely the staff is still being very diligent with this, and many of my staff have been vaccinated. Some still don't trust the vaccination, so we're trying to influence everyone to do that. So we're excited about being on the downhill of our COVID outbreak, which many other counties have been through way before December. So we're proud of that. Also, that is difficult when you have 600 today. As of this morning, we had 644 inmates. So we're doing the absolute best we can here with the cleaning and mask wearing and testing that we're still doing. Another thing, I sent out a press release last week announcing that the Department of Corrections chose us as the first county jail to partner with the cabinet, the Justice Cabinet and the Transportation Cabinet on the inmate ID program. Since the state moved to the Real ID, our existing ID program that we started in 2018 is going to be changing. That was a partnership with the circuit court clerk. And so obviously, as they move away from doing the IDs and it goes more to the Department of Transportation, we were worried about how that would go, realizing that that's one of the biggest barriers that a releasing inmate has as far as employment and housing and a successful reentry into society. So we have been selected. There's 3 prisons and 1 county jail, which will be ours, that will partner with this new program. And we've got a meeting later today with the Real ID folks to work out the logistics of that, and also the funding, which has been previously provided by the Southern Kentucky Reentry Council, will now be provided within this partnership with DOT and DOC. And so we're real excited about that. Always complimentary of my staff here working on reentry efforts, not only the safety and security function that we're called to do as a correctional facility, but also the work with reentry. So excited about that. Wanted to share that with the court. And we'll also start to revisit with the state a plan for at least partial reactivation of the road crew workers. I'll keep the court, and you'll be the first ones to know as soon as I have an approved order with DOC to use state inmates outside the facility. Just we're going to do it very cautiously to make sure that we don't have another outbreak until the vaccines are offered widespread and also to those who are incarcerated. So those are my updates, and I appreciate the court's consideration on the items that we had today.
Well, congratulations on that partnership with the state on this. And of course, they chose you all because it's one of the best run facilities in the state. It's among the largest of the county jails in the state, and surprisingly, I think to most people, in spite of the fact that that's one of the largest populations in any of the jails, it was, if not the last one to have the first COVID positive, you were maybe the next to the last one. I think you and Davis County were within a day of each other of having your first COVID, and that was months after the first ones were covered up with it. So you've done a great job in managing that, Stephen. Thank you. Mr. Comer, how are you, sir?
Judge, we're doing good. Parks are doing well. Just a quick update on the tennis facility. The steel is up for the actual tennis building. They're actually putting roofing insulation in. The Musco outdoor court lights will arrive on Monday, and they should all be up by next Friday, which will be great. We continue to get equipment delivered on site. We've been meeting with our tennis task force. We're hopeful to have some good sponsorship news for court around March 26th of this year. And so we continue to work in those efforts with the tennis task force crew, and everything else is going well. We have started to offer events and tournaments. We plan on offering all spring sports with modified capacity, and we have a big volleyball tournament this weekend, and we appreciate all of our event hosts and different groups complying with all of our COVID-19 restrictions. And it goes to show that if you're willing to make some slight modifications, you can still play safely, use sports. It does take everybody working together, but we're really glad to see kids back in facilities having a good time. So,
well, we're looking forward to it too, and I know all the kids and all the parents are. But doing a remarkable job, Chris. Thank you. I mean, all the stuff you've got going on balancing right now is just totally amazing. Same here for Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, do you have anything to share?
No, sir. Just wanted to thank all the departments of health, parks, James and his guys in the road department in a last minute get ready for ice that didn't happen, at least not in the quantity that we thought, which is a good thing. And spoke with everybody, and we've got a plan and are ready for the threat of more winter weather next week. So we're just going to watch what's coming and talk to Ronnie every 5 minutes when he gets off a phone call for COVID and see what the latest is, and we'll be ready. So by all means, give us a call if you think of something that we might have missed. But thank you.
Well, I think y'all did a great job. Everyone, the road department, stormwater, and the crews from the Regional Justice Center and county maintenance. It was well coordinated, and I'm sure we could have handled it if we'd gotten what we thought we were going to get, but I'm so thankful we didn't. Is this supposed to come? I'll ask Mr. Pearson that question, but I think it's supposed to come Sunday night, the first wave.
Some Sunday night and Monday, and then possibly another hit on Wednesday. But again, I'm sure that's subject to change.
Right. I hope Hope we dodge this bullet too.
Same.
Thank you, Josh.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Pearson?
Good morning, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I apologize for no video, but all my electronic devices are less than 10%. But I want to shout out this morning to Josh, and especially Chris. Chris and his crew brought tables and chairs. As of 35 minutes ago, we've opened up the State of Kentucky and Kroger Health Clinic at the old Sears building. That's off and running, so it's hopefully another asset in our community to help vaccinate some more individuals. I want to say thanks to our community partners that's been doing it since they arrived, the medical center, Greenview, the health department, all working diligently to get vaccinations in the arms. But it is up and operational. If you guys, I'll send this to you by email, but anyone can go to Kroger.com/COVID vaccine and register online, or they can call 866-211-5320 for those that don't have internet, and can also register by phone. We anticipated opening yesterday. The weather kind of held that back, but we're going to push those people into the next few days and into next week and increase capacity as vaccines become available. So we're making some inroads, but we need more vaccine. Josh and the weather, again, all the crews did fantastic. We're looking at a couple events next week. So when it rains, it pours.
It really does.
Yeah, but it's better than ice.
That's true.
Is Kroger supposed to actually start putting shots in arms next Thursday?
Judge, they're actually doing that today.
Oh, they actually started today.
Yes, sir. About 37 minutes ago, they've had first customers in line putting shots in arms. They started registration last week, and I think in 6 or 10 hours, they had almost 4,000 registrations.
Wow.
So there's a lot of people. This is a regional site. It's going to accommodate 8 counties, but we continue to encourage people to get signed up and get the vaccine.
Yeah, I certainly encourage people to. I had my second shot, and a lot of people I know said, they had some symptoms from the second shot, and were moaning about a day or so of being uncomfortable. And I had absolutely no symptoms at all. My arm on the first shot, I felt nothing. Second shot, the following day, it was a little bit sore, but nothing more than just mild pain. I highly recommend that people get their vaccinations and start them as soon as possible. And Kroger's certainly going to help give us that opportunity. Going to help a heck of a lot more people have that opportunity. Medical center and the health department and Greenview as well have given a lot of shots. Medical centers, I can't remember what their last numbers were up to, but it's close to 20,000, wasn't it?
Earlier this week, Judge, they said it had given over 24,000 shots already.
That's incredible. That's a lot to be proud of. And I know that the health department, public health, has given out an entire, not nowhere near that many, but it's only because they haven't been able to get access to the vaccines. But anyway, we appreciate all their help. And medical centers really, really helped. Just the access and availability of the vaccine has been the real holdup. But thanks, Ronnie. Anything else?
That's it, sir. Thank you.
I'll probably be talking to you before Sunday night.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Loving, are you on there? Don't believe he is. Mr. Nutzman, Jason, are you on here? He is the interim PVA since Mr. Brandstetter has retired, and I'm certain he's doing a great job. Bob did a great job for the times he was here, and we certainly are going to miss him. Mr. Appling? Can't hear you.
Okay, now I'm there.
Now you're there.
Yeah, just good morning. We're just glad that we've moved back into our old offices upstairs, and I do want to thank Josh for letting Frank and his crew move some of the heavier stuff back up here, and we're excited about being back up here. We got a few things yet to do, but it gives us a lot more room. We're not crammed in there like we was before, and everything's going good, well, and it seems like I need to get my other two girls. I need to get my 2 employees vaccinated, but I've not been able to get that done yet. So when I get that done, I'll be back to normal, maybe.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Judge. We're just still extremely busy to the point where we're looking at having to buy new signs and add on more connections to our Zoom account and all that stuff. We're starting 2021 out with on fire, I guess. So it's a good challenges to have. So we're doing well, and appreciate all your all's support, and as always, call us if you need us.
Thank you so much, Ben. Mr. Markram?
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Chris, and your staff for putting salt out all over downtown. Thank you very much for that. Thanks, Josh, for putting together a team to go to these parking lots and hit them. I know we put out several bags of salt, even though we had ice both coming and going. Frank Records went out and hit all the volunteer fire stations. Now we plan on snow again Sunday. So everybody be careful. If we haven't cleaned it off good, just be careful while you're coming in. So thanks, you guys. Appreciate it very much. Chris's crew comes in and gone before we realize they're even here. If you see a jail truck running around town with a salt shaker on the back, that's us. So don't panic. We're going to do as best we can. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, James. I appreciate your helping all that. Ms. Milliken, how are you?
I'm great, Judge Buchanan. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you. Nothing more?
That's it.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Burrell?
Thank you, Judge. We're gearing up for budget season. Should have some updates in the coming months for everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you, Greg. Deputy Judge Marie Smith, I don't see you here. Oh, I do. There you go. You have anything? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. County Court Clerk, Brenda Hale, where are you?
Right here. Thank you, Judge, so much.
Okay. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next meeting is the 26th, February 26th at 9 a.m. And I hate to say this, but one more time, it's going to be over Zoom. And you all need to take good care of yourselves between now and then, and take good care of your families. If there's no other business to come before this body, do I have
Move we adjourn.
Pardon me?
I move we adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence.
There you go, Judge.
Thank you all. Thank you.
See you guys.